Hi, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about what to do when you feel unseen and unheard in your relationship. I'm Bree with Cosmic Siren. I help you trust your intuition, express your truth, and embody your beautifully unique self. This is a very safe space for all of my quirky and curious souls. All are very welcome. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to continue connecting with this space. So I watched a video by Jimmy on relationships, and it's called My Husband Feels Attacked When I Share My Feelings. And in the video, he poses this question that he said can be triggering for a lot of people. And the question was, why do I stay in a relationship with someone who neglects me? And when he said this really hit for me. It really resonated deeply with me. And this is coming from someone that was in a marriage where I felt very unseen, unheard, and it felt like no matter what I did, nothing was getting better. And so it prompted me to want to share with you. I want to share with you the 10 steps and questions that I went through for myself in order to get clarity on my marriage and how to shift towards saying yes to myself. So when you're ready, get into a comfortable and safe space and get cozy with me, and we'll dive right in. All right, the first step is to get very clear on the energy behind your yes and your no. If I were to ask you if you are happy in this relationship, are you able to answer quickly to a no, or do you hesitate? And the reason I assume it's a no, because if you're here, if you're looking for ways to feel more seen and heard, and that you feel like your relationship is a struggle, then there's something about your situation that is a no for you. And so it's just important for the first step just to be honest with ourselves. It doesn't mean that we have to take any specific action right now. This is just for us to really give ourselves space to really listen to, hey, I hear you. The situation is a no for me. I understand that you want something to change, and I'm not dismissing my own feelings. So, this is the first step, just to be honest with yourself. Is this situation a yes or a no for you? Do you feel happy in the relationship? Can you continue with the way things are in this relationship for the next foreseeable months or year? When you have answered honestly and you're ready to dive deeper, we are going to get to question 2. All right, the second step is what would make this a yes for you? And getting very clear on this, I would really recommend writing it out or journaling. But when you envision the relationship of your dreams, when you envision being really happy in your relationship, what is it that you want it to look like? What exactly needs to change from your partner? And if you're having trouble thinking of exact things, just go through your senses. Start with, what do you want to see in the relationship? Do you want to see the dishes cleared? Do you want to see them coming home and giving you a hug? What is it that you want to hear? How do you want them to express verbal affirmation to you? When you're expressing your feelings, how do you want them to hold space for you? Just getting very clear on those steps. And I'm going to draw some cards to see what message we can get on what would make this a yes for you. All right. So we pulled the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Coins. So double fives, fives may be significant for you. But it's this idea and feeling of, you want your partner to acknowledge your struggle, to acknowledge your pain, to be more aware about what specific actions or words that they're doing that may affect you in a way that really hurts you, that makes you question yourself, that makes you cry when they're not looking, right? You want this sense of acknowledgement for their actions. You don't want to have to keep telling them, hey, when this happened, I felt really hurt. I felt very sad and unseen and small. And of course, we have to always express our feelings and our emotions vulnerably. But it's this sense that it doesn't seem like they're ever aware of what they're doing to hurt you. And that is a struggle, right? We always have to be accountable and letting our partners know how to love us and what hurts us. But there is this struggle and difficulty when someone is never aware of anything that they're doing or saying that's causing you harm, right? And this is words and actions, right? You want to feel mentally supported. You want to feel like your thoughts and your perspective are being listened to, right? And valued. You want to feel like you're being nourished physically and emotionally. You don't want to feel like you're by yourself in the cold, waiting for someone to help you and support you, right? You don't want to feel like you're alone crying because of what this person directly did or said that affected you. You don't want to have a partner that continuously does and says things for their own benefit that directly hurts you. And so that's just some messages, extra messages for you as confirmation. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. These are always just confirmation for you. Once you're done getting clear on specific actions that would make this a yes for you, we will dive into the next step. And before we get into step 3, I just wanted to make sure it was clear that I am under the assumption that you have tried everything in your power to connect with your partner and to grow and change things. And what I mean by that is you are showing up vulnerably, you're expressing yourself openly, you are trying to connect, you have tried going to therapy. Maybe your partner dismissed the idea, or you have gone to therapy with your partner and you're trying your best. And so I'm under the assumption that you are the one doing everything in your power to make this relationship thrive. And it's because you are unhappy with the efforts of your partner or their investment or lack thereof. And that's why you're here. Now, if you aren't showing up vulnerably and openly, and you're wondering why you are the one that has to do this and why it can't be your partner, and there's those, feelings of struggle, then go watch Jimmy's video where he talks about why it's important to show up vulnerably and, different tips and tricks you can do in order to connect with your partner in a place of openness rather than a place of blame. And I never want to put it on you, put it on one person to be able to show up for the other. But to be honest, a lot of the time, someone will be in that space. Someone is in a better place emotionally and mentally to be able to support their partner through that and to connect with them in a vulnerable way and to give them a chance for that change, right? You don't have to be the person, but if you are wanting to change your relationship and you're wanting it to thrive and you're wanting to connect, then one of you does have to be the one to extend the olive branch and be able to create that safe space in order for both of you to come together. And the struggle and the problem is when you're constantly that safe space and your partner isn't changing or growing. And my video is about to die, so I had to plug this in. Okay, for step 3, assuming that you've done everything in your power to invest in this relationship, I want you to consider and ask yourself, what has your partner done through their actions to show you they were saying yes to the relationship, to show you that they were saying yes to making you feel seen, heard, and loved? And this is really important to show you progress, right? If you've been very open and vulnerable and you've been very direct on saying, hey, in order for me to feel seen, heard, and loved, I would love for you to connect with me when you get home and give me a hug and talk to me instead of going to play a video game or going to the room to go on the computer. In order for me to feel appreciated and valued, I'm hoping that you express gratitude sometimes when I pick up after you or something. I want to feel supported in the relationship in the home by having you help out and do some dishes or helping me clean. I want to feel more prioritized by you and feel like I matter to you. And so I want you to stop canceling on me for your friends and family when we've already had plans in place. Things like that. And so do their actions match their words? Have they done the things that they said they would do? It's also important to consider, have you been asking for all of these things and they've been saying, yes, I will, I'll get to that, I'm going to do that, yeah, later, oh, I'm trying? Do their actions match their words? Are they living in integrity? Because a lot of the times we can get led on by false promises and hopes and wishes, and we find ourselves years down the road wondering what happened. And so this is very important for you to get honest right now. What have they done? What have they said they were going to do? Or have they said nothing? Have they said they weren't going to do and change anything? And then you can put on your list 0. There's been 0 actions toward that. But this is just all to get information for you to get very clear on your next steps, right? For step 4, do their actions match their words? Are they living in integrity? Assuming that you are as well. And for step 5, is this enough for you? And for this one, I want you to just be honest. Again, we're not taking action here yet. I just want you to get honest with yourself. Is this enough? Let's say you've been together for 6-7 years and finally now they've decided to help you around the house and do some dishes. I don't know why these keep coming through. Those are just some messages. It can be anything. But the fact is, it did take a long time for them to do this, right? And it's not to say that maybe something has changed. Maybe they went through some awakening. Maybe they're changing now. Maybe their progress is exponential. Only you will know that, right? So is this progress enough? Are they maybe moving at a snail's pace while you're growing and changing and being a magical being over here? Is it aligning with you? As you're growing and changing and they're going at this pace, are you going to be happy with that, right? And so only you can say yes or no to that, right? Getting very clear on the energy behind yes and no. So 5th step, is it enough? And also considering only you know through their actions, you know through their words, you know through the energy, you know through the relationship so far. Are they truly willing to change, right? And this is just something for you to think about when you're thinking about, is this enough? Are they really changing or not? Or are you just hoping they will? If you want more support and guidance in trusting yourself, I am launching a course. It'll help you trust yourself, connect with your feelings, and trust your intuition so that you feel 1,000% confident in the decisions that you are making in your relationships, so that you no longer feel guilty for saying yes to yourself, prioritizing yourself, and so that when you are making new connections, you feel supported and confident that these connections have the capacity and capability of providing that space for you to feel seen, heard, and valued. I will put the link down below. Go ahead and enter your email, and I will give you more information on when my course launches, and I will give you access to the pre-sale pricing. For step 6, I wanted to share with you an article that really shifted things for me during this time in my life, and it was the law of fuck yes and no, and I will link it down below. But in this article, it talks about if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. And that's where the energy behind yes and no comes. And that was where everything changed once I got behind what yes and no means for me. And in this article, he poses a question that really just slapped me in the face. And he asks, where's your fucking self-respect? And that really changed things for me. After I read that, after I read the article, after I read this question, I asked myself, I looked at myself and I thought, I thought I loved and respected myself. But to be honest, if I really loved and respected myself, would I be allowing this situation in my life? Like, honestly. And that was really hard for me to sit with and to admit to myself. If you really loved and respected yourself, would you stay with someone or a relationship where you don't feel loved and respected? Would you be able to let go after trying everything that you could possibly do, right? And that was hard for myself, right? So for the 6th step, for the question, I won't ask you, where's your fucking self-respect? I will ask you, do you love and respect yourself enough to let go of energies that don't serve you? Whatever those energies may be. And I want you to sit with that. For step 7, I wanted to talk about what type of energies are we allowing into our life? And I wanted to talk about the Magician card in tarot. For the Magician, we co-create with the universe for the life we envision for ourselves. We have to get very clear on what energies we're allowing in, which is why the first step is understanding our energy behind yes and no. And so for these energies we're allowing in, this isn't a place of blame, right? I'm not saying you are at fault for your situation, that you deserve your situation, or that you are the reason why your situation is happening. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is I want to empower you to shift the way you think a little bit. And what I mean by that is, I'll give an example. So instead of saying or thinking or believing, My partner doesn't make me feel seen or heard. My partner is always dismissing my feelings. My partner doesn't prioritize me. My partner does this, this, and that, and it makes me feel small. My partner, right? Those could all very well be true, right? Of course. I'm sure that is what's happening. When I say shift the way you're thinking, I mean to say it something like this. I'm choosing to stay in a relationship that makes me feel unseen and unheard. I'm choosing to stay with a partner who's unable to create space for me to vulnerably express myself. I'm choosing to stay with a partner who continuously dismisses my feelings. I'm choosing to stay with a partner who doesn't want to grow or change. I'm choosing to stay with a partner who relies on me to keep up the relationships. I'm choosing to stay with a partner who doesn't do anything special for my birthday. I'm choosing to stay with a partner who continuously, with their action and words, says no to me. I'm choosing to stay with a partner who says no. I'm choosing to stay in a relationship where I feel like a no. I'm choosing a no, is what it comes down to. I'm choosing a no. If you're here, these messages are for you. You're feeling like a no. You're feeling that this relationship is a no. You really want something to change. You want something to grow. You want to connect with this person. You were with this person for a reason. You really love this person and you want to change. And I feel that. You're doing everything in your power to help this relationship. Are they doing everything in their power to match your energy? And if they aren't, are you accepting the reality of your situation? And are you willing to pivot away from this energy? Now, I'm not talking about action yet, but for this step, what energy are you allowing in? And I want you to be honest and clear with yourself and say to yourself, I am choosing to stay in this relationship. And it's okay, right? We can choose to stay for so many reasons, right? I love this person. I want to stay with them. I have dependence with this person. I want to stay with them. I built a life with this person for this long. I want to stay with them. That's okay. I just want you to empower yourself and admit, I'm choosing to stay with someone or this relationship that makes me feel this way. And just admit that for yourself. Just so we can empower ourselves a little bit on how we are directly impacting our life through allowing certain energies to be around us. And let's take a message from your spirit team, from your higher self regarding this. Okay. We got the Four of Cups and the Empress. Oop. All right. Oops. Yes. So let's talk about this Four of Cups energy, which is literally what I was just saying. But in this card, the Four of Cups, as you can see, this artisan, this person, probably created these cups. They look like birds. They're made out of gold. They're very beautiful, very pretty, and they're stuck on admiring these birds, these cups. And outside is this bird on a wooden cup, singing very beautifully. And they don't notice the cup, right? It's this stagnant energy, the Four of Cups. It's this like waiting energy. You are so set and drawn to these cups, to whatever these things are, that you're not taking action, right? You're not moving forward. You're kind of like at a standstill. You're kind of at a stall. And if you would just turn, if you would just listen to your intuition, singing out to you outside the window that there is sunshine out here, there's another world out here, there's another life out here, that you would feel happy with, right? That you would feel elevated, right? That would make you feel very warm and vibrant. If you would just look the other way, if you would just listen to yourself, there could be a different path, right? But instead, with the Four of Cups energy, you're stuck on these cups. And it's because of this Empress energy. You are the Empress, right? This isn't gendered, right? Empress can be anyone. But the Empress is the quote unquote mother of the tarot, right? The Empress is very nurturing, very giving, very loving. They pour their heart and soul into nourishing those around them, right? The environment around them. Now, let's be clear though, the Empress does this very healthily. The Empress pours into themselves first so that they're able to give to others, right? Because a true Empress, the Empress in the tarot, cannot make everything around them abundantly grow and flourish if they themselves weren't feeling the same way. Because again, as I told you, our reality reflects our internal environment. For you, I feel like you have this idea of what it means to be a nurturer, to be a caregiver, to be a lover. And that's sacrificing yourself. That's lighting yourself on fire to keep others warm. That's literally molding and changing yourself and your life and who you are in order to keep others happy. That's not a healthy Empress energy, right? The Empress would be honest with themselves, connect with themselves, love themselves so much so that they can give to others, right? And because you are this loving and nurturing person that's pouring out their energy to others, do you not think that you deserve the same in return? Your partner should also be that way, right? When two people are saying yes to each other, when two people are saying yes to the relationship, when two people are givers, that makes a very beautiful relationship, right? When one person is the one giving and nourishing and trying to help things grow and the other person is not, that's where the struggle comes, right? You do deserve Empress energy back because that's the energy that you're giving, right? And I feel like because you're in this idea or role that you have to be taking care of others, that you have to be the one to support others, you are stuck on these cups that aren't probably even making you happy, right? You're getting really stuck and caught on these things. I've been with this person for so long. Oh, well, we live together and it would be a hassle to move apart. Well, it's only been this long. Maybe if I try 3, 5, 10 more years, it'll get better, right? You're stuck on very specific things of why you should stay stagnant, when there may be other options, right? All right, for step 8, we're gonna track and get clear on why this is happening. Why are we choosing to stay in this partnership relationship where we feel unseen and heard? And is this a pattern for us? Do we feel this way in other relationships? I'm going to bet or assume that this isn't the only dynamic where you feel unseen and unheard or that your feelings are dismissed. This might leak into other areas of your life, other platonic relationships, romantic partners, familial, what have you, maybe work, whatever situations. But do you have a pattern of feeling unseen and unheard in multiple areas? And where does this come from? So this step is tracing. Can you trace far back to where this started? And do you have a childhood wound that could be affecting you right now? And I wanted to bring this up because when this was all happening, when I was feeling so unseen and unheard, I had the revelation that this is exactly how I felt growing up. I have an emotional neglect wound. If you're here, if you're feeling so unseen and unheard, you may have an emotional neglect wound too. When we are children, we try to express our emotions. We expressed our feelings, maybe mad, sad, happy, angry. And if they were met with resistance, if they were dismissed, if we were told to be quiet, don't talk about this again. I don't want to hear it. Don't be mad. If we were taught like toxic positivity, if we were taught not to show certain feelings, if we were taught we had to deal with it on our own, if we had parents that didn't have the type of space or support to help us emotionally express ourselves in a healthy way, then this is where this emotional neglect wound comes. We learn to dismiss certain parts of ourselves. We learn to not speak or share our vulnerable feelings, right? And this pattern goes into adulthood. And for myself, I didn't realize this pattern till I was in my mid-20s. And so how does this affect you in your relationship? Because of this wound, because of this pattern, you are attracting partners that feel very familiar to you, right? You're attracting partners that continuously dismiss your feelings because through your whole life, you've learned to dismiss your own feelings. If you are struggling in a partnership, in a relationship, and it's been a long time, and you're constantly asking yourself, why won't things change? Why won't things be different? Are you listening to yourself? Are you accepting your feelings that, hey, I don't feel good. I don't feel happy. I don't feel supported. I don't feel prioritized. I don't feel loved. I don't feel seen. I don't feel heard. And this has been going on for however long, we'll say years. And do I trust myself that I don't see a change? I don't see a difference being made. Do I trust that however long it's been, how many years it's been, my partner has shown me through their actions that there's not going to be a change? And do I trust myself that I don't want to continue? Do I trust that? Am I able to give myself the space and listen to myself and not dismiss my own feelings that this isn't what I want, that this is a no? If you're having trouble connecting with yourself, connecting with your feelings, connecting with that inner child wound, I do have a free inner child healing meditation. I definitely recommend you to download it. I'll put the link below, but this will help you connect with your inner child, listen to your inner child, see what memories, see what feelings are coming up, just to give yourself that space, and then giving yourself the love and support that you deserve. And it's very healing. So for this 8th step, it's getting very clear and honest. Do I have this emotional neglect wound or any other childhood wound, maybe abandonment wound? And how is that affecting me now? How is that affecting the people that come into my life? How is that affecting my relationships? If there's a pattern in our life, it's because there's a lesson that we haven't learned yet, right? And this is a message for some of you that this is a chance, right? This is a path you can take of, I want to do something different. I want something to change. I want to get out of this pattern, right? And for you, if you're here, it's, I want to get out of this pattern of feeling emotionally neglected. I want to get out of this pattern of feeling unseen and unheard. All right, for step 9, this is trusting your intuition. And it was this step that really helped me be able to say yes to myself. When my struggle was happening, everything was happening, we've had our conversations, and I sat with myself and I really got honest with myself and I said, okay, if things continue as they are, what is our relationship going to look like in the next 5 years? What is it going to look like in the next 10 years? And I sat there for a few minutes, really connecting with myself, closing my eyes, and really envisioning what I felt our relationship would be in 5 to 10 years to come. And I trusted that. I knew because I know myself. I knew because I've been with my partner for that length of time. I knew and trusted that. I knew exactly how our relationship would play out in the next 5, 10 years based on the current energies. And I trusted that. And I asked myself, is this where I want to be in 5 to 10 years? Is this what I want the relationship to look like? Is this how I want to feel? And I answered yes or no for myself. And so for this step, I want you to take a few minutes, take a few deep breaths, and ask yourself, based on the current energies, based on how things are, what is my life with this person going to look like in the next 5 years? And close your eyes. See what comes up for you and use all your senses, right? See what comes up in your mind's eye. See what comes up if you hear anything, if you smell, feel, taste anything, your emotions. Just get really clear on that. And ask yourself, is this what I want? Is this where I want to be? Do I want to feel this way? And you're not making this up. You can trust that you know exactly how this is going to go because I can bet that your current situation, how things are, you probably knew already before, right? When you first started asking this person for a change, when you first started asking for a difference, when you first realized that you weren't happy, how long has it been since then? Were you able to predict that things are still as they are now? And are you able to trust yourself now that you are able to trust your intuition and predict how things will be in the next 5 to 10 years? Because you can trust yourself. You don't have to dismiss yourself. You don't have to dismiss your feelings. You don't have to dismiss your voice. You don't have to dismiss your intuition. You have to trust it. So take some space, take a few minutes, do this little practice. And when you're ready, we'll get to the final step. For step 10, there's a 2-parter here. The first is take some space for yourself. And what I mean by that is you want to be in your own energy. So whether that's going outside, for the day, if you're able to get away for a few days, whether that's a hotel, Airbnb, friends, family, but just to be in your own energy to get clear on the previous steps and the answers that you had for the questions, so you can get a better picture of how you're truly feeling, so that you're not dismissing your feelings, so that you're giving yourself that space to really listen to yourself and see what it is that you're really feeling and being honest with the reality of your situation. And it's important that you take that space, because the next step is taking the path that points you toward your yes. Taking one step toward your yes. Maybe for you, once you figured out your answers, you realize, I really want to stay in this relationship, this partnership. I really want to connect. I want us to figure it out. I love this person. They've shown actions to me that made me see their progress. And for me, a step in the yes would be staying and working it out and setting boundaries around that, right? Maybe whatever amount of time, 6 months, a year, less, more. What feels good for me? What feels like a yes for me? What amount am I willing to keep going? Because I don't want you to keep draining yourself. I don't want you to keep sacrificing yourself. I don't want you to keep staying in this feeling of a no for a very long time, right? And only you know how much time would feel good for you, right? You are in your own body, you have your own thoughts and feelings. No one else can tell this for yourself. And you have to live in integrity. If you set this boundary, if the time limit comes, you cannot move it, right? You set this time limit for yourself, and it's important that you stick with your words, right? And if it's not where I want it to be in that amount of time, I will pivot and do something else, right? If you're here, it's because you've tried everything under the sun and it's still not working. And so I wanted to share with you the path that I took, the path that I was terrified to take, right? The path that I knew deep down was the path that I had to take in order to say yes for myself. And I chose the path of letting go with love, right? I did everything under the sun. I tried my best. I took space. And with that, it still wasn't enough. I knew that if I were to stay and continue, if I were to change myself further for this person, I would be so unhappy. And I trusted that. You can give yourself permission to let go with love. It doesn't make you a failure. I thought that I was a failure if I were to get a divorce, that it meant that I couldn't work something out, that there was something wrong with me. But there wasn't anything wrong, right? I tried my best. I did everything. And in the end, we just didn't align, right? There's no right or wrong. We can still let go of someone we love. We don't have to hate the person. We don't even have to dislike the person. It's just that it's not aligned. Let's pull some cards about the path toward your yes that you want to take. So we got the Eight of Swords and the Devil. Yeah. So Eight of Swords energy, you can see this person's surrounded by swords. They're stuck in the cave. They're fearful. This person is trapped by their fears and by their limiting beliefs. They have all these swords around them, but they can easily move the swords. They can reach them. It's their own selves that are trapping them. So this is a message for a particular group of you. You know exactly what you want to do, and you're afraid to do it. You're scared. You're terrified because you don't know what's next, right? The fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown is very scary, and that's what was scary for me. I was afraid. What do I do after this? Like, what does that even mean? That's why I said, just pivot toward your yes and do one action step. You don't have to think about it. For example, for me, we decided it's not working. Okay, what do we do? Well, we're separating, so let's pack up our things. There was nothing after that. We're gonna pack our things. So we did. We just packed our things separately, did our things. I mean, together and separately, right? And then we, told friends and family what was happening, right? And then slowly we found apartments, right? Slowly. We didn't think about the next. We just thought about the one step. We didn't think about how is this going to happen, what's going to happen in the future, what do we do? No, just one little step. One step toward your yes. When we think about it too much ahead, we start getting really anxious. Like, what do we do? Just do one step toward your yes. And for a lot of you, you're too much in your head. Do the step that you intuitively know you want to do, even if it's scary, right? It's scary. The fear of the unknown is scary. But if you're here, it's because your whole life you've been saying no to yourself. So of course it's going to be fucking scary when you're finally saying yes to yourself, right? I was fucking terrified. But here I am now. And my life has changed and has only gotten better since I started saying yes to myself. And I believe for you, your life will transform and do the same. The devil. This is about habits, right? We get caught in these patterns and these habits that keep us, it's like an addiction, right? You are so used to this thing. You think it's comfortable, right? It's just familiar, right? Comfortable is not familiar. You are so familiar with this thing, this pattern, these habits. And I told you, it's going to keep going until you learn the lesson. And nothing is going to change if you're unable to pivot away. The only thing stopping with you is your own limiting beliefs and fears. Once you get past this, once you take a step toward your yes, even with the fear, it'll help you break this pattern, right? Let's pull one more card. Got Queen of Wands and Six of Coins. For the Queen of Wands energy, the Queen of Wands steps into their power. They're very expressive, right? They're themselves. They embody their beautiful selves. They are radiant, right? And she's on her own. She's making it happen. There's a volcano literally erupting in the background. And she's like, you know what? I'm moving forward. I'm going to do this. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm going to do everything in my power to make myself happy, to make myself feel loved, to make myself flourish and bloom. Because I deserve it, right? I deserve to feel loved, flourished, and bloomed within myself. I can do that for myself, right? The Six of Coins is about equal energy exchange. You deserve to have a relationship where what you put in, you also receive, right? You deserve to love and express yourself and pour your heart out into a relationship and have the same be returned, right? It's not transactional. It's just equal energy exchange. You want to be a fuck yes for someone and you want someone else to be a fuck yes for you, right? If you support, listen to someone's feelings and help them feel understood and valued, you want the same in return. And that's what you deserve for yourself. And these are messages for what you're coming into, right? What you're receiving. When you break the pattern, when you say yes to yourself, this is what your life looks like. You express yourself beautifully. You stand in your power. You are recognized for the value and talents that you have. And you get equal energy exchange, right? Your life will reflect what you're putting out. All right, and for some closing messages, I'm just gonna pull a few cards just for guidance from your guides. We got connect, reconnect with yourself, with your surroundings, and with your community. And recognize, let's take a look at a big scary feeling. Let's give it a name. Maybe we could even befriend it. I think let's start with recognize. This is what I was talking about, connecting with your feelings. The whole 10-step process is really getting honest with yourself and connecting with how you're really feeling about a situation, right? How you're listening to your inner voice and what's really showing up for you, right? This very specifically is if you're feeling something, hold space for it, hug it, cuddle it. And I have a blog post about feeling your feelings. You can look at the practice. It uses music if you want. I'll link it down below. But just connect with your feelings and your emotions and just give it space to really breathe and acknowledge it, right? With connect, this is very important. And it seems simple enough or easy, but I wish that I had connected with my friends and family more about what was going on with me. I think this is a message for some of you to really reach out to your support system, friends, family, whoever, and let them know what's going on. Being very honest and saying like, hey, I've been struggling. I've been feeling really unheard and unseen. This is what has happened. This is what I've tried. I could use some support. Just getting very honest. This isn't about talking negatively about anyone. This isn't about bashing anyone. This is just about you wanting to feel supported and loved so that you're not afraid to take the step that makes the most sense for you in order to feel supported. All right. And last closing message. Okay. So we got caution, 22, hope, 31, and trust, 37. Let's start with caution. Don't be afraid to remove the red tape. That was a message for some of you, if that makes any sense to any of you. But I feel like it's this message, this idea of don't be afraid to pull back the tape and redefine how you view relationships, how you view your happiness, and what's a priority for you, right? Don't be afraid to remove these invisible signs of tradition or how you're supposed to be or what a relationship looks like or what a contract means, or that I must stay in this relationship because it's legally binding, right? There's these different perspectives and notions and ideas that this message is saying, don't be afraid to come up with your own conclusion, right? Don't be afraid to remove all that red tape and really look at the heart of the situation, which is how are you feeling, right? Depending on your situation, everyone will be at a different place in a different space, and it's okay if you just don't feel good, right? For trust and for hope, it's this idea of, like I said, you deserve to feel this way, right? You deserve more. You can trust in the universe. You can trust in your support system. You can trust that you're being guided to connect with yourself and your feelings, and that you're being guided toward the life that you envisioned for yourself, right? In order to come into that, though, you have to break the pattern, and you have to get out of your head, and you have to push past the fear. Nothing will change if you stay in this pattern, right? It's that question again of what energy are you allowing into your life? And the relationship that you envision for yourself, that's the energy that you want, right? That's the energy that you're allowing into your life. And in order to do that, you have to pivot toward your yes. And only you know what that yes is, right? That could be found maybe in your current relationship, depending on what's happening, and it might not. And only you know that answer. You just have to trust yourself. And again, if you need more support and trust in yourself, I am launching a course that helps you trust yourself, connect with your intuition, connect with your feelings, so that you 100%, 1,000% are confident in what you're feeling, confident in what your intuition sounds like, what it's telling you, so that you're confident in the choices that you're making in your relationships. You're confident that when you are connecting with others, that you're connecting with people that have that ability to give you that open and safe and loving space in order for you to feel seen, heard, and valued. So check out the link below for my course. You can sign up to be on the wait list, and it'll give you access to the pre-sale price. Those are all the messages that I have for you. That's all the information that I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much for connecting with me. Please comment down below what resonated for you. Please let me know about your experience or about what steps have helped you gain more clarity. And please like or subscribe so that I can continue connecting with your energy, so that I can have your energies with me when I continue reading messages for the collective. For diving deeper into feeling unseen and unheard in your relationships, I do have a podcast episode that talks about this concept, and I will put it at the end of the video. And as always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I'm sending you warm wishes and soothing hugs.